What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Captain Marvel and possible Avengers 4 video as well. So if you're new to the channel, please do consider leaving a like down below if you enjoyed the video at the end before you leave, and also subscribing with notifications on so you never ever miss a video. So we've had some brand new kind of behind the scenes photos of Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel is the penultimate movie for Phase 3 leading into Avengers 4, which is still yet to have a title, and I'm really hoping that we get some sort of Secret War absolute blowout for the finale of Phase 3, which would be absolutely awesome. But we may not actually get that, and it could go down a different path. Now, we know that Captain Marvel will be set in the 90s, and Kevin Feige has stated that it will actually feature a 90s, very 90s action movie aesthetic akin to Terminator 2 and things like that. So I'm really excited to see where they go with this. I'm a huge 90s action fan. Those are the movies I grew up watching and which I still love to this day. Now, the interesting thing here is that Samuel L. Jackson has had a Instagram post where he is having a kind of life model made of himself, which is pretty curious. Now, we know that Captain Marvel is the first superhero that Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury will ever actually see and come across. So this will be kind of providing his formative years and possibly why he actually wants to set up the Avengers initiative in the first place. This is probably where he gets the idea of trying to set up this initiative, which I think will be really cool, that Captain Marvel is the one that kind of sets this all in motion and sets the inspiration for what is going to happen next in Phase 4 as well, perhaps. But the curious thing is, why has Samuel L. Jackson had a model made of himself? Now, if this is set in the 90s, so this is well over, I mean, if we're looking at kind of 95, it is well over 20 years. And good old Samuel L. Jackson, he looks good for his age, but he is pushing 70 now, to be honest. And even 10 years ago, when the MCU first started, well, he's probably aged quite a lot since then. I know I have personally, because 10 years is a long time. Now, the interesting idea that some people have put out is the idea that what he could have actually done is they are trying to de-age him for the 90s movie. However, that is a good idea, and considering the fact that he possibly may not have his eye patch in this movie. But the problem is, in Captain America Civil War, we had a very de-aged, good old Tony Stark. So the fact that he was de-aged in that was all done digitally. It was done by Lola VFX. And the similar thing was also done with Michael Douglas in Ant-Man. So that was all done through scanning and also using kind of footage over from his previous movies as well, looking at that and de-aging him in a Photoshop style way. So it was really cool to see that, and I don't think they might be de-aging him here, to be honest. It possibly may not actually happen. However, there's another idea that this could be. There was an idea, and this could be the fact that he may actually be a Skrull, or he could simply have a Skrull decoy. So he may not actually be a Skrull. However, the idea that a Skrull could have invaded and formulated the entirety of the MCU, well, that is something else. Now, if you don't know, the Skrulls are going to be one of the villains in Captain Marvel the movie, and they are a huge villain used throughout the Marvel universe. They quite notably faced off against the Fantastic Four. They've also had a huge story in the recent years with Secret Invasion. Now, during Secret Invasion, we actually had the Skrulls, after a battle with the Illuminati, which featured Tony Stark. Well, they went on to experiment and were able to actually use their shapeshifting powers to actually emulate many superhumans on Earth. This led to kind of secret embedded targets. Now, the problem with this idea that here is the fact that it's just a bit too similar to Hydra, where we have a secret invasion force or a secret force who have embedded themselves inside all of the characters that we love and could bring down everything. However, the idea of a secret invasion would be something very, very different for Marvel Phase 4. And if Secret Invasion ends up being the whole thing for Avengers 4, that would be pretty awesome. Now, they've said that the name for Avengers 4 would give away far, far too much. So if it is indeed Secret Invasion, which we know exactly what that would be about, and the fact that they called Captain America 3 Civil War, that was a giveaway of we knew exactly what was going to happen. So the idea that Nick Fury could be a Skrull would be something which I would really like. And the idea that, imagine if we saw at the end, we actually saw him in a post-credits scene as a Skrull, that would be something else entirely. Now, this is a complete long shot, of course, it's reading way, way too much into it. However, I would really like to see if this could be possible, and it would be certainly something different, certainly different from the huge galactic threats that we've seen so far. However, that is it for this video. Please drop a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.